Hi guys, we are on for a new recipe and today we will be making cinnamon roll in caramel pecan sauce. Here are the ingredients. First things first, in a bowl I throw in 1/2 cup of white sugar. Then I add in 1 cup of warm milk. And I whisk them together using a small whisk until the sugar completely dissolves. And now I will add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast and I'll just leave it for a while until the yeast foams up. And now I will throw in 5 tablespoons of softened butter and 2 pieces of whole eggs. And you can use a whisk in mixing all these ingredients together. But for me to make sure that all the ingredients are well incorporated, I decided to use this electric mixer. And now in a separate bowl, I will throw in 4 cups of all-purpose flour onto a strainer, together with 1 teaspoon of salt. And we will sift all these dry ingredients together, which we will be adding to the liquid mixture. And in combining both the liquid and dry mixture together, I simply make a well at the center of this dry mixture and I slowly add in the liquid mixture, and using a rubber scraper I mix them all together. And you can then stop mixing if you notice that the texture of the mixture starts to become like the texture of a dough. So on a countertop, I spread a little bit of all-purpose flour and I throw in the mixture. And now I will be kneading this dough using my hands, and I make sure that I cover my hands with a little bit of flour so that the mixture won't stick on my hands. And now that I'm done kneading this dough, I throw in 1 tablespoon of vegetable in this empty bowl, where we will let the dough sit in for about an hour until the dough will double its size. And I just make sure that the dough is completely covered with the vegetable oil so that it won't stick in the bowl, and I covered it with a cloth. And after an hour, the dough gets completely soft and it's time for me to roll it. So using a rolling pin, I tried to make a rectangular shape of this dough, and I tried to flatten it as much as I can in order to get a really good curl of the cinnamon roll. And after rolling the dough, I prepare the filling for the cinnamon roll. So I have here 1 cup of brown sugar, and I add in 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and we will just mix them all together, and eventually we will spread them on top of the roll dough. So this will serve as the filling of the cinnamon roll. And in assembling this dough to get a good cinnamon roll, you need to be very gentle in folding the dough, starting from top to bottom, and you need to be very careful in this process. And now I'm cutting the roll dough to get a good pieces of the cinnamon roll. So I'm just using a knife. But the best way to do this is to either use a dental floss or a pastry string if you have. And after cutting the roll dough, I put all the pieces on a baking tray with a parchment paper in it. And it's time to bake. And after baking the cinnamon roll and while waiting for it to cool down, we will be making the caramel pecan sauce. So on a heated pan, I throw in 3 tablespoons of milk and I add in 6 tablespoons of butter. Then I throw in 1 cup of dark brown sugar and we will mix them all together until all these ingredients will completely dissolve. And once the mixture reaches the boiling point, we will add in a half cup of crushed pecan nuts. And once the sauce is done, we will spread it on top of the cooled cinnamon roll and we will let it sit in for around 5 minutes until it completely cools down. And that's how I made my version of cinnamon roll in caramel pecan sauce.